Hey guys, welcome back to another podcast video. I'm with your co-host Connor and Bryan, and your host none other than Noah Morales.
The topic of our today's podcast is on the book Scythe by Neil First and we'll be talking about the morals of each of the main scythes that are mentioned in the book.
Okay, so if you guys have never read the book Scythe, it's basically a story where society has conquered death, and because no one dies, overpopulation is a big problem in the world. So scythes are in charge of killing people in order to keep the population down, and there's like a lot of complicated morals about it. People are like, scythes suck, and some people are like, scythes are good, and there's like a lot of corruption in the scythe society. Like, so there's a big topic about the old guard and the new guard. And the old guard is like about Scythe Fair Day and how they believe that
Good morals. Good morals.
they believe that scythes should be like empathetic and should be nice and be like kill with remorse and not be cruel. But then there's like the new guard, like Scythe Goddard, who says like we should enjoy killing and we should kill more people.
Bad
morals.
morals.
Yeah, those guys are really bad. So yeah. So there's like a big topic against them. So today, our discussion, we're going to focus on the characteristics of all the scythes, and we're going to question if their morals are right or wrong. So our first question today, do you agree with the functions of scythes in society? Should they be revered as good people or bad people?
Me personally, I would refer to them as good people. This is because that they see everyone as equals and as innocents, as Scythe Curry explains on page 3. As I see it, they're all innocent, even the guilty. Everyone is guilty of something. Humanity is innocent. Humanity is guilty, and both states are undeniably true. This means that, as I said, she sees everyone as innocent and equals, meaning that there is no bias in her gleaning.
I totally agree with you, Bryan. Another quote from Schusterman on page 40: the ratio of population growth to the Thunderhead's ability to provide for humanity requires that a certain number of people be gleaned each year. This means that the world is overpopulated, and technically the only way to keep it underpopulated is by scythes gleaning other people.
Yeah, I also somewhat agree with you, but I also disagree. It's like sometimes the scythes are like dictators and they like kill people with like no thought behind their actions. They sound so bloodthirsty and ruthless, like Scythe Goddard. So I also agree that they are necessary for society, but there are some people that should not be scythes, like Scythe Goddard, and those are the times when I think the functions of scythes are bad.
For the next question, it's going to be about Goddard, and are Goddard's morals and ways of gleaning humane or inhumane?
Me personally, I would say his ways of gleaning are inhumane. He is not empathetic to anyone, even his own disciples or followers. And he's definitely not empathetic to all the people that he kills in his mass gleanings. As on page 390, it basically says that Goddard tells Rowan that Volta is the weakest of them. This shows that he's not even, as I said, empathetic towards his disciples.
Yeah, I also agree that he's inhumane. He's like ruthless, bloodthirsty. He's also like really egotistic. He doesn't care about anybody, especially the people that he gleans. Like in page 258, there's like a big scene where he goes to a research center and gleans all the people there. And while he's like on a massive killing spree, he says like, I am your completion, I am your deliverance, I am your portal to the mysteries beyond this life. And he says like, I'm your bringer of peace, and to embrace him. And I'm like, it's just so messed up to me that he just like thinks he's like the bringer of life. Yeah, he thinks
the one.
Yeah, he thinks he's the one, and I'm like, that's just messed up. He should not be in charge of killing all these people. It's just not okay.
He only cares about himself.
Yeah.
Which is bad as a leader, yeah.
Yeah, I would say that too.
Yeah.
The third question that we're going to talk about is, which would you prefer, the old guard such as Scythe, Faraday, and Curry, or the new guard such as Goddard and his group?
Me personally, I would choose the new, because they are the future. And I was gonna elaborate or speak more on agree to disagree of Connor's. Like, he's egotistic, but also he's also a visionary, and he wants to keep the Scythedome, keep it in the future, not the past or the present. In Schusterman's book Scythe, on page 185, it says, Volta became the tiniest bit defensive. Scythe Goddard is a visionary. He sees our future. I'm much more interested in being a part of Scythedome's future than its past. And I really think that's very powerful, even though when Volta died, Goddard didn't really care, but he just saw Volta as weak, and he was not a part of our future. That's what I see.
I actually disagree like almost completely with you. I'd much prefer the old guard. They are like much more benevolent and have better morals. I feel like they have a more humane and more sustaining way for the future for society. Like, so there's multiple journal entries by Scythe Curie, a member of the old guard, where she talks about like where they are instructed to write down the feelings in journals, and this is that they should write about their remorse, regret, and the sorrow too great to bear, because if we didn't feel those things, what monsters would we be? So this shows like they need to have feelings in order to not become monsters, which is completely different than what Goddard thinks. So I much prefer the old guard. There's also a poem in one of her journal entries. This is, have not a hand in the blade of abandon. Cold from the fold are the brazen and bold. For a dog who just might, left the bark and the bite, is a carrion raven, the craven of old. So this is about like not a hand in the blade of abandon. It's like they should have feelings whenever they kill people. They should not.
They should feel for the person, not
yeah.
become a mindless killing machine.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, and then like and they call them a carrion raven, the craven of old, which is basically like cowardice and filled with like monstrous thoughts. And like I totally agree with Curie's standpoint rather than Goddard, so I'd much prefer the old guard versus the new one.
Alright, guys, that was another episode of the Goddard's Guild. I hope everyone has a good rest of their day, and we're out.